Deadpool just became the highest grossing rated R movie in history. While this has gotta have execs at Marvel trying to figure out how much Ryan Reynolds seasoning to cram into the MCU, there's gotta be at least one solitary voice questioning the should we over the could we. After firing that voice, I implore the remaining bigwigs to listen to this humble shinobi's 10 reasons why Deadpool joining the MCU could be more trouble than it's worth.
Number 10.
Anyone over the age of 5 can discern real life from fantasy. However, we don't need a glowing neon sign constantly reminding us that the MCU is basically a live-action cartoon for grown-ups. When I saw RDJ kick the bucket in Endgame, I didn't need my girl to lean in and say, "It'll be alright, baby." I know it's not real, but let me feel my pain, woman. Remembering She-Hulk, I know you don't want to. She broke the fourth wall so much, I might as well be watching Dora the Explorer lob questions at the screen. Yes, bitch, I see the map. Deadpool is funny, mostly, so we let him get away with it. The juice of the fourth wall breaks have to be worth the squeeze, otherwise it gets tiresome and reminds the audience there is no need to be invested emotionally. By the way, if I've ruined your hopes of one day seeing a real-life superhero on the streets, I must also inform you that wrestling is predetermined and Santa Claus is not.
Number 9.
DP works best as a gag character. You don't expect Shakespeare from a Looney Tunes character. Reynolds is a competent actor, but once the mask comes on, he's one step away from "somebody stop me." He hits the screen, triggering a response in your brain that says, this part of the movie is just for fun. Anything done to him can be wiped clean after the scene is over. It's not Deadpool unless he's constantly undercutting tension and emotion with inappropriate humor.
Number 8.
Deadpool's rated R humor and dark themes clash with the generally family-friendly PG-13 tone of the MCU. When you think of the normal Marvel fare, you might think of shawarma, quips, and fast-paced action with modest stakes. What you probably don't think about is vulgar sex jokes and homoerotic humor. While the latest Deadpool satisfies virtually everyone's expectations of debauchery from the merc with a mouth, it might surprise you to find many viewers' appetites for DP's relentless onslaught of depravity have been sated. Others found him downright obnoxious from the jump. I personally wouldn't mind if they shelved Old Red until 2026 at minimum. Reynolds doesn't do his own stunts, so we're good on time. Just keep the mask on him. And maybe a gag.
Number 7.
Deadpool is known for his distinctive irreverent personality and breaking the fourth wall, as said before. Integrating him into the MCU might necessitate a more restrained version of Deadpool, however, potentially diminishing his unique appeal. How lame would it be for them to dim his light, restricting him from dropping external references and meta callouts? Some have suggested letting other characters look on as though he was talking to himself while staring at a wall. While initially hilarious, it would quickly grow old, forcing writers to abandon this POV as a throwaway explanation.
Number 6.
Deadpool's humor doesn't always land. His movies are rated R, yet his potty humor targets teens. I have even seen parents take their kids. Are we that untrusting of babysitters these days, or is it just hard to find one? Putting a magnifying glass on his stories will show major cracks. They're absurd, simplistic, and the plots unfold exactly how you would expect. In his movies, we let it slide because the entire series is all fun and games. When in the MCU, we'll probably need a better initiator than a timeline's need for an anchor being. And forget about those sweet needle drops. Weeks later, I'm still humming just like a prayer.
Number 5.
Deadpool's chaotic and often unpredictable nature might disrupt the carefully constructed narratives and character arcs within the MCU. Deadpool has a wanton disrespect for virtually everyone else's life, considering he is never in danger. However, in a movie where there are real stakes involved, tossing one's teammates in front of you as though they're a human shield for shits and giggles is probably frowned upon.
Number 4.
The fan base for Deadpool and the MCU have different expectations. Combining the two could result in a product that fails to meet both the high standards set by either, potentially disappointing both sets of fans. The team behind Deadpool cradles the movie like a baby in its mother's bosom. But how long will the House of Mouse stay in the background after the Marvel bump and the team up with the legendary Hugh Jackman makes this third outing a box office juggernaut, bitch? I'm sorry.
Number 3.
The MCU already features a vast number of characters and storylines. Adding Deadpool might be the straw that pushes us into enough is enough land. You can only fit so many clowns in the car, and Deadpool is clown enough. His stories have never been that deep, and that's the way the audience likes him. Deadpool and Wolverine seems like a good movie for Reynolds to go out on. Push comes to shove, I can take a cameo or two in the MCU, but if I have to see him jump into someone else's movie as a supporting character, I might walk out of my very first MCU movie. And I sat through Ant-Man 3.
Number 2.
The hard truth is, Deadpool simply isn't needed. He isn't a team player. He's a dumbass in comparison to everyone around him, and he doesn't fill any necessary role. He could be a bullet sponge, but bullets go through him. Of course, the MCU can't show him getting ripped in half as he was in Deadpool 2, but his accelerated healing factor dictates that he be incapacitated for the story to progress. I suppose Doctor Doom could put him in a steamer trunk like a Scooby-Doo villain and sink him to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Whoa, I went dark there.
Number 1.
How do you make a man that can't die interesting? Do you threaten his loved ones for a third time? I, and hopefully the audience, have grown weary of the I have to protect my family plot. By the way, Vin Diesel called. He said ease up on the family stuff. Deadpool suffers the same issue as the Hulk and Quicksilver. X-Men's Quicksilver. You can't do much with a character that can save the day by themselves except depower them so they have a weakness or write them out entirely. Do you actually want DP to get the Hulk treatment? There are of course creative solutions to all these challenges if Marvel wants to make money, and they do. They've got a pretty good ratio between awesomeness and ass water, so I wouldn't underestimate Keven Feige. I hope this gives you a starting point for some conversation. Jump into the comments section if some of these points are off base, and click that like button so I know what content to make more of. This humble shinobi thanks you for watching, and as for the next time you need your fix of pop culture commentary, look to the shadows and beckon.